All right. We're going to go to Awesome Golf. It's where we do some of our practice sessions. Actually, we're going to go back to GS Pro, and we're gonna do the challenge scores, and we're gonna work on some. Welcome to Abner Davis. I'm Abner Davis, golfing finance guy, and we're gonna talk about getting to scratch golf. We're gonna talk about getting to scratch golf. Not quite sure exactly where you guys are right now in your range, handicap range, but we're gonna work on some basics, and we're gonna try to simplify the game for you, right? And so, how do we start? How do we start this warm up? We work on the game from. I know everyone wants to get better at this game um, from everybody wants to get better at this game from the tee box to the green. But the reality is we can improve 10 times faster working on improving our game from the green to the tee box. And so some of the things that we want to make sure that we're focusing on. We want to make sure that we're focusing on. We want to learn some fundamentals about our putting. I know a lot of people that think that they claim themselves to be, good putters because, some they roll in some every now and again they roll in a 30-footer or roll in a 50-footer or whatever the case may be. But that's not what makes you a good putter, right? What makes you a good putter is you having the ability to consistently make putts from shorter distances. How good are you at making putts? What is your putting percentage from inside 10 feet, 15 feet, 6 feet, right? What's your putting percentages? How close are you to the PGA Tour averages, right? And so when we're training, we want to specifically work on the things that we can carry over into our game. Like this is a drill here. This is 20 putts. There's 20 putts, and we want to try to make as many of these 20 footers as possibly can to try to get as high a score as we possibly can, because it's going to rate us based on the number of putts we make and if we miss putts, how do we miss those putts? All right. And so this is a 10-foot putt. I want to make sure or try to square my putter face up as much as possible through the stroke and the impact. I want to try to consistently have the same ball speed. Right, I want to try to consistently have the same stroke. Like that, my putter face was 0.2 degrees open. Ball speed was 5.2 miles per hour. And I want to try to replicate that because that felt like a perfect roll, a solid roll. 5.2 miles per hour the ball speed, 0.8 degrees open through the stroke. Right, we want to try to get close to 0.0 as possible. And that was 1.3 degrees right. See, on shorter putts, we might not pay attention too much to our putter face being open or closed. We might not see how much it's affecting us. But as you get further away from the hole, right, that putter being open and putting that cut spin on the putt increases your ability for the ball moving away from the hole. And so that's why we want, we want to try to tighten that up and try to tighten up our stroke. It's good to know what your numbers are, what your tendencies are. And so, um, so getting to scratch golf or playing your best golf is the goal, we have to do that by improving our ability to play the game of golf from inside 100 yards. And what I tell people all the time, learn how to play the game from 10 feet away, learn how to play the game from 30 feet away, from 50 feet away, 50 yards away, and from 175 yards away and 100 yards away, right? If you learn how to play the game that way, all of that carries over into the rest of your game, right? If you can consistently and solidly hit or strike shots from 100 yards, that it's the same golf swing when you're trying to hit 150 yards. So build your golf swing and your setup hitting short shots, and then it'll carry over to everything. Because remember this. Every time you swing driver, right? Every time you swing driver, your hands are up here, and your hand is up here in this position. Always remember, every shot you make, almost every shot you make, chip shot, everything, the club always has to pass this point, and it always has to return to this point. So if I can get really good from this point to this point, guess what? All of that transfers in me getting the club way up here, because when I get here, my body's going to be automatic, and now I can hit better, more solid golf shots with every club in my bag. But for some reason, everybody comes to golf and they think I got to learn how to hit this ball from way up here. I got to try to hit this ball as far as I can from way up here, as straight as I can, instead of learning how to hit this ball as far as I can and as straight as I can from this position right here, right? From getting here, right? If I can't hit this ball the way I want to hit it, where I want to hit it, how I want to hit it, how high I want to hit it, how fast I want to hit it from just this position, what makes anybody think in their right mind that they're going to be able to do it from that position? And I don't care how good you hit the ball. You can be hitting the ball to 5 and 10 feet all day long. You can have your best ball striking day that you've ever had. But if those putts don't go in, I promise you, you're going to go home feeling sick. Grow legs. God dang it. I knew I didn't give that one enough. This is the most used club in your bag. You're going to use this club anywhere between 30 to 50 times, 30 to 40 times in your round. So you better get pretty good with it. Better get pretty good with it. I wish, I was self-taught in golf my first year. I self-taught myself to being a scratch golfer, and then from there I took lessons to get to shooting under par golf at any course, not just my home golf course, but being able to shoot under par at any golf course that I walked on. So I took lessons to be able to take my game to the next level. And if I had known what I learned when I started taking lessons on how to manage the game and how to manage your build practice sessions, right? That can improve your game more on a more rapid level, I probably would have had a chance to be able to play this game competitively. Because I put a lot of damage on my body, just like everybody else does. Put a lot of damage on your body and your back and your knees and your hips, doing it wrong for so long. So even that was a miss hit, slightly off, just in the middle of the toe in the center of the club, slightly off center strike, but still stayed on line. That was perfect right there. 0.1 degrees open. Like something that matters when you're talking about making putts inside 10 feet and inside 3 feet and 6 feet, right? Even something just as simple as, am I exhaling or inhaling when I start my stroke? Do I hold my breath, right? When am I holding my breath? Am I holding my breath as I bring air into my diaphragm? Because if I'm doing that, if you pay attention to this monitor right here, watch what happens if I'm inhaling, right? If I'm inhaling, so my diaphragm is expanding and taking in air, right? And if I'm exhaling, right, letting all the air out of my diaphragm, my putter is now moving closer to me because my arms are in here. So my hands, my abdomen, my diaphragm is actually moving my hands and my arms further away and closer to me throughout the stroke. So we have to get to a point in our practice that we're practicing making consistent and better strokes, right? Becoming more fundamentally sound. So I'm one of those guys. I exhale, I let all of the air out of my diaphragm, hold my breath, and then I make a stroke. Right? Because I want to be able to. I don't want to create a situation to where I'm I'm creating more of a reason that I'm making a bad stroke. Something that can be controlled. Like once the ball leaves my putter face, I can't control what happens to it. I just got to trust. I got to trust that the green is going to do what it's supposed to do. And sometimes you hit a great putt and it still don't go in. Sometimes you hit a bad putt and it actually goes in. That creeped up there. Yeah. And this is the kind of stuff that gets you to a point to where you start to learn. You start to learn more about your game, your missed tendencies, right? And you can make adjustments, mental adjustments based on your tendencies. All right, so we're not going to get a perfect score here because we left that one putt short. So we should be somewhere around 988 or 989. Somewhere around 988, 989, 969. All right. So not great there. And we missed one. So we'll take it. So now we'll move back to chipping. Like I shared with someone earlier. Someone was asking me, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to start shooting in the 70s? They're always shooting in the 80s. And they were asking, what do they need to do to shoot in the 70s? How many hours a week do they need to work on their game? And what I shared with them is I don't think it's the amount of hours that you work on your game. I think it's the amount of intention and execution you put into your game. For an example, I gave them a regiment that when they go to practice, their regiment should be to make 100 6-footers, right? I don't know how many putts they'll have to hit from 6 feet to make 100 6-footers, 100 3-footers, and then they need to make 100 3-footers, then 50 6-footers, 30 15-footers, and then 10 30-footers, right? And that's your putting practice session. And that means you got your state. You went out and you set up a 3-foot station, a 6-foot station, 15-foot station, 30-foot station. You using the Tiger gate drill at each station to ensure that you're also focusing on getting the putter to go through a alleyway with each stroke, as well as making sure you got a towel down on the green at each station so that you're not damaging the greens with the amount of time that you're going to spend there. Right, you may have a chalk line down for your 3 foot, your 6 foot, and your 15 footer, so you're not worrying about alignment. You're just focusing on strokes and making the stroke and making rolling putts. And then uh, from there you're going to the range, and you're gonna hit 100 chips, chip shots inside a 5 foot or 6 foot circle. Inside a 6 foot circle, you got to get 100 of them inside 6 foot, and then from there you're gonna move back from 15 paces to 30 paces, and at 30 you got to get 30 inside 6 feet. From there you move back to 50 yards. Right, from 50 yards you got to get 30 inside 6 foot. Then you move back to 100, and move back to 75. From 75 you got to get 20 in 20 shots inside 6 foot 6 feet, and then you move back to 100. You got to get 10 inside 6 feet, and that's a practice session, right? I'm not sure how much time that will take for you. If in the beginning it's gonna take longer for you to do that, but that's what a practice session is. That's better than you going out and playing 4 hours of golf, 2 or 3 days a week. If you put in that kind of time 2 times or 1 time a week, I promise you'll make leaps and bounds over people within 90 days. But most people are not disciplined enough to make that kind of commitment, because everybody wants to go out and play golf and have fun playing golf, but they not satisfied with their scores or how they expect to improve by just playing golf and not having any kind of real practice execution. So threw that one too far. So that's 20 feet, and I usually just have a 20. I usually practice at 25 yards, but this is 20. There we go. And so we just want to replicate that. Over and over and over and over, right? So we practice on executing, not necessarily just hitting balls. Because when you're practicing on execution, that was a good miss. When you're practicing on execution, there's things that you learn about your game. Like, okay, I missed that, and you're paying attention to how you missed it, why you missed it, and when you missed it that way, what did the ball do? You're paying attention to how far did the ball carry? How much did it turn left or right? You're paying attention to different things because it's goal oriented toward execution, just not activity. Too many people have their practice session set around, just okay, how many balls did I hit? I hit 2 buckets of balls. So what? That doesn't mean you got better. That doesn't mean you got better. Most of the time, it just means you wasted a bunch of time because you went home no better than you were yesterday. You have no way of measuring whether or not you improved, right? So, for an example, let's say, um, did it take you just something just as simple as making 50 putts from 6 feet? Did it take you 100 putts last time, but this time you made 50 putts within 70 putts, right? So how are you measuring your ability to improve? Right? And so that was a good miss. Like, you know, just this. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get. All right, we got 20 balls that we got to hit. We're trying to get 10 of them inside that 6 foot circle. All right. Anything inside that yellow. Anything inside that red circle is 6 feet. We get 10 inside the circle, and we good. Yeah. So how do you get better? You get better by being intentional about your regimen. All right. What's your training schedule? What nights do you train? When you train, what are you doing? Do you have a right? Do you have your schedule, your progress schedule mapped out? That was a good miss. Got lucky with that one. No, I didn't get in there. Got 3 more of these. That should be good. That should be good. Got away with that one. I should have one more. Not necessarily trying to hold it out. I'm trying to get the ball to a distance that I can comfortably one putt. That's what the short game is about. If one goes in the hole, you got lucky. 749. 749. No mission accomplished. We got 10. We got 10 inside. We got 10 inside the 6 foot circle. Now we can move back. Move back to 100 yards. All right. Goal here is to get them inside. Get 10 inside the circle. All right. Build a 50%. Build a 50% game. 10 inside the circle. What are you working on? Are you working on something? Are you working on something consistently that's going to get you better? 99 yards, 4 yards uphill. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at where that pin is. Is it it's not gonna show me a view. 99 yards. So we got a couple different shots we can hit. Definitely want to carry that bunker because I see the hole is right behind that bunker. Don't want a whole lot of spin. So instead of just hitting some 3/4 sand wedges, which I think we're just gonna do. I'm gonna hit some 3/4 sand wedges because I want all carry here. About 104 yards of carry is what we're looking for. What we're looking for here. And not enough. Not enough. All right, so what was that? So we had 95 yards of carry on that shot. 95 yards of carry, 84 yards of carry, 95 total. Yeah, so we need about 105 yards of total carry. So I got to move this ball back in my stance some. And I pushed that one out to the right, but got enough to carry. All right, so that's outside 20 feet. And we actually want inside 20 feet. We want shots inside 20 feet. So we need 10 balls inside 20 feet. All right. And that's 18 feet. All right. And really, anything inside 30 feet, anything inside 30 feet is really, really good from 100 yards. I think from 100 yards, I think the tour average from 100 yards, I think is 26.7, something like that. So we got the spot in the tempo now. We got the spot in the tempo now. Ah! Nope. Not carrying. Didn't carry that bunker. So we got to take a different line because that line right there is just not the safest. So we got to be more left of the flag. That's where we want to miss it on this hole. Bad kick. Would have been perfect if I would have been left of the flag like I said I wanted to. Let's try this again. Nope. Wasn't the best contact there. Wasn't the best contact there. I probably should switch to a gap wedge, but for easier, just a half swing. Still on that left line, but enough carry. Let's just change this. Yeah, let's just aim more left. That's what I should have did the first time. That's really that would never happen outside. But it's all right. Should have had more carry. That's my fault. There we go. There we go. Can't baby it through and expect 86, 87 miles per hour. The ball speed is what I need. Yeah. It's 78, 788. We only hit 50% of the greens in regulation, so we need to do that one again. Didn't hit our goal. So we got 10 shots here. I guess we did get them all, the 50% of them inside 30 feet, I guess, but we don't want to miss greens from 100 yards. Can I get all of that one? All right. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. I think we might get 100% on in this round. Not sure how many of them we gonna get inside 5 feet, but the goal is to get them inside 30 feet, number one, and try to get inside 20 feet from 100 yards. That should be enough. Yeah. Enough to catch the. That was more right than I wanted it to be. Had the face open a little too much on that one. Let's see. Good miss. Good miss. Laser rocket. Picked it clean. Good miss. All right, so we're still rolling at 100% greens in regulation. So we're execution is good. Should be another one, unless it's too long. Spoke too soon. That one was too long, and I felt it right at the impact. It's another long one. I can tell I activated more extension in those last two swings because the tempo was the same, but the ball speed increased. So all I did was just got my lower body more active in the golf swing, starting the downswing with my lower body. So now I'm back. I'm where I'm really supposed to be. Almost shanked that one. That's gonna be off. Shanked that one. So much for 10 greens, 10 greens in a row. But from 100 yards, we don't want to miss greens in regulation. Don't want to miss greens. It's about 22 feet. All right. There we go. 785. 80% of the greens. What's the leaderboard here? 946. Some good swings out there. Good swings out there. All right. So again, appreciate you guys. To get better acclimated to lowering your handicaps. Focus more on working on your golf game inside 100 yards and make sure your game is more intentional. Your practice sessions is more intentional, that you're intentionally working to execute. It's not about how many balls you hit. It's about how many shots you hit effectively, right? Exactly the way that you're trying to execute. It's about execution. It's not about how many putts you hit. It's about how many putts did you make out of the putts that you hit, right? So I don't care if you hit 300 putts or had 300 touches. It's how many of those touches did you have 300 putts made? Did you have 200 putts made? How many did you make, right, before you ended your session? Those kind of things. So let's focus on execution, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Abner Davis, and I'm Golf and Finance Guy. See y'all next time.